because my parents were both in the Marines, I benefit from the tuition waiver GI Bill, so it pays for the tuition, not student fees or books or anything like that. But yeah, basically my tuition was covered. To qualify, you had to have what you make plus what was contributed to you, either from your family or from anything taxable, any taxable loans or anything. You had to make below the poverty level. In order to still finance everything, I had to work, but I couldn't work too much or have contributed to me too much, like as far as taxes go, or else I would lose my tuition fee waiver and then I would be in lots of debt. So it was kind of always walking this like balance. So what I ended up doing is I found a job pretty immediately after I came to Santa Barbara, and I started working at this pizza place. A couple months in, I realized that if I kept working, even though I was being paid minimum wage, if I kept working the hours that I was working, plus what my parents contributed to me, I would lose my tuition waiver. So I had to talk to the owner, and I was like, listen, I either have to quit or, I need to be paid partially under the table because I can't keep having this much on my taxes, right? So that was great that I could find that situation and that it worked for me, but it also opened up some not so great situations within that job. I guess it maybe training. I went on someone sat in the car with me when I went on my first delivery. After that, it was just no. Short answer is there was no training. I guess the idea was use your common sense, but until you have life experience, you don't have common sense. That's just it. Until something happens, you don't know that could happen or how to deal with that. So it's just trial and error and being fortunate that nothing really terrible happened. The most stressful part was sexual harassment from other people who worked there. So mostly from the cooks, and I'd be at the register and they'd come up and grab my hips or touch my bottom and say lewd things, and there's just nothing I could really do about that. There was a point when I was okay, this is not okay. And I remember this one time it was a breaking point. Like always, one of the cooks came up and just grabbed my hips, and I turned around towards him and I was don't touch me like that, or don't say that to me. And he gave me the cold shoulder. I'm the manager, right? He wouldn't talk to me for months after that. That makes it really hard to do your job. I'd have times where I'm I'm gonna quit, and then I'd have this moment where okay, what happens if you quit? Then you don't have an income. Who's going to pay you under the table enough so that you can, pay for your books and stuff? So this would happen a lot, and at the end I'd be you know what, it's just 4 years, you can do it, and just I'd come up with different strategies to kind of, cope. The healthier strategies were talking to people who are also in my situation and having that sort of community, and the less healthy ones were things like drinking and just venting in those other ways. In our society in general, this is normalized. Of course, whenever you say it, people are oh gosh, that's awful. Oh, you were sexually harassed at work, that's terrible. But the fact is it happens. It's not irregular. It happens all the time. If I could go back and do it again, I would do something different. I don't know. I think in my imaginary fantasy past college life, I would find a great job that pays me under the table, but also gives me fantastic work experience, and and then I'd also be able to pay me better, hopefully, and be able to take part in a lot of the college and campus life that I missed out on,